I, Jimmy the Weasel Fratiano, was once one of the highest-ranking members of the Mafia. I have personally murdered many people, some of them close friends. When I learned there was a contract out on my life, I decided to turn government informant. Since then, I have been responsible for the convictions of Teamster officials in San Francisco and Mafia bosses in Los Angeles and New York. In addition, my testimony has led to a grand jury investigation of Frank Sinatra's alleged ties with convicted mobsters. At this moment, the Mafia is out to get me, and my life isn't worth a plug nickel. Now, will the real Jimmy the Weasel Fratiano please step forward? Live from New York it's Saturday night!
Yes, this is Not Ready for Season 6, where we discuss the much-maligned sixth season of Saturday Night Live. We want to know if it had promise, if it's as rough as some people have said, and we just want to explore some of the nuances that make this an interesting transitional season of Saturday Night Live. Joining me is my tag team partner, my co-host on the Pop Culture 5 podcast, Deremy Dove. What's up, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah, things are good. I'm pumped. I'm in the middle of this is a transitional season of Saturday Night Live, season 6, and I'm in the middle of a transitional part of my life. We're moving again.
Yeah.
We moved last year, moving again. Still in
Big
the same
stuff.
area.
Okay.
Still in kind of the Albuquerque area, more rural though. We're gonna
Yeah.
be mountain people again.
Absolutely. Okay, going back to the mountains, going back to
Yes.
No, that's exciting, man. That's a lot going on, and I'm just I'm a simple man. I'm just glad the weather's getting nice. May was kind of a drag of cold weather like lingering around, in the PA Philly area. So I'm glad it's getting nice out. This is the time I always tell people, when spring into summer, Deremy Dove comes alive. I'm ready to go,
Yes.
man. Like it's a new guy. Like I got more pep in my step here. So, and that goes with the show now. Now it's even more. I'm even more in the zone watching SNL season 6 because spring's here, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, heck yeah, me too. We've both enjoyed. I think we've enjoyed this watch of season 6 so far.
Absolutely, very interesting.
Yeah, it's been an interesting, fun one. So this week we have episode 6 of season 6, which aired January 10th, 1981. Host Ray Sharkey, musical guest Jack Bruce and friends. The first episode of 1981. I can't believe that. Brad and Gary started, of course, in 1975. We're into 1981, Deremy, my birth year. So we're almost to the point where Thomas was alive for Saturday Night Live. Like we're getting there. So we're into 1981, man.
That's really cool. Yeah, I kind of always like that when looking back, where it's like, okay, yeah, we're in a new year. We're in like seeing what was going on in that time period and how SNL was looking at it. And obviously, we knew with the election in 1980 that January of 81, you're transitioning to the Reagan administration, all those things.
Yeah.
So just seeing how they talk about it, and they do mention, you do get those things throughout this episode. So it's just very fascinating to see when you look back on SNL, how history is on their side and maybe not on their side in certain ways.
Yeah, it's an interesting snapshot. Just like the show in general, SNL is always an interesting snapshot of the period, and I think this one's no different. A while back, I was thinking about like how 81's my birth year and SNL, and a while back I looked up who the first host was, like the first episode after I was born. So it didn't happen until season 7, but mine was Bernadette Peters with musical guests The Go-Go's and Billy Joel.
I got to do that exercise.
That was November 14th, 1981. When's your birthday?
Mine's June 29th of 89. So I guess
okay,
the 89 season premiere, 89-90 season premiere would be me.
So yours would be, you'll appreciate this one. Yours will be Bruce Willis and Neil Young.
Whoa, that Neil Young performance is classic.
Yeah, exactly. So you got a classic Neil Young performance as the first episode after you were born.
Okay, that's cool. And yeah, Bruce was I've seen that episode many times over the years on
Yeah.
Comedy Central and everything. So
I
okay.
think because the Bruce episode tied into the next episode because of Bruce's entrance for his monologue. Then Rick Moranis spoofed it.
Yep.
The next episode.
Classic.
And yeah, good stuff, man. I just got
That's
me
fun.
thinking like as a little SNL geek.
No, I like
I
that.
just got excited because like 81, here we go.
Yeah, that's fun.
I got pumped for that. But Ray Sharkey got Jack Bruce and friends.
The infamous Ray Sharkey.
Yeah, the infamous Ray
Sharkey from Cop and a Half, of
Cop
course.
and a Half,
you know,
yeah. It's a Cop and a Half celebrated in both our households.
absolutely.
He's the villain in Cop and a Half. So, I'm ready to get to this episode.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, so starting with the cold open, and we're opening with an episode of To Tell the Truth. So it's three men, played by Matthew Lawrence, Charles Rocket, and Eddie Murphy, all claiming to be Jimmy the Weasel Fratiano.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Jimmy the Weasel Fratiano.
Number 2.
My name is Jimmy the Weasel Fratiano.
And number 3.
My name is Jimmy the Weasel Fratiano.
In the copy that we watched, I don't know, it might have been missing the beginning in this sketch. So it seemed like it just kind of maybe jumped in or not. Maybe they just, started the sketch here. But regardless of when it started, I thought I did enjoy this beginning to the episode. I don't know about you, but I thought it was kind of a...
So I kind of struggled a little bit with it.
Really?
So I like the twist of like, you see the Matthew Lawrence, Charles, and then you see Eddie giving that Italian name. So like people in the audience popped a little bit, which is like a side note. That's what I think I love that Eddie brought, that when you watch the first 5 years and then honestly after what we've getting, you're getting that SNL audience laughter that like I feel like the episodes before Eddie became like a featured player, we were missing like even the studio audience laughing. So that was like nice, but then I thought you could have done something good, but it was just kind of really a random. Like, they don't know how to end. Like, we've mentioned it before. They struggle to end, like, the cold opens.
Yeah.
Because it's just, like, he gets shot, and then it's, like, boom. So it's, like, give me a little bit here. Like, is that a guy he knew? And maybe you're right. If we missed a part with it, that helps. But I'm like...
I think it's implied. I just kind of thought it was implied.
That he knew? Like...
Yeah, that was a hitman.
I get it, but, like, it's just kind of... It's so abrupt with it.
Yeah,
so
they've been having trouble with, like, abrupt... I think cold open endings. But I think I've always differed with a lot of SNL fans as far as the cold open, because I don't think they need to do anything. I don't think they need to have it like basically be a full sketch. Honestly, I think it's just a way to kind of start the show, and it doesn't need to be like a full narrative for me. But I think I'm probably in the minority because I see complaints about cold opens all the time, and I think like something short and simple and just to get you going into the episode.
Well, I think sometimes that with a cold open that's why I like it when they're mimicking something that happened that week in society that we all know, because then I feel like they do a better job of you almost to your point. Then you don't need it because it just happened. Yeah. But when they do like a creative kind of different one, which I respect, I need a little bit of something here. Okay. And I think the fact that you have Eddie in there, that's funny. So it's like, is the bit going to be Eddie? Is actually he's going to say he's Jimmy or something like that? But like, it's like, oh, these two. So I'm kind of like, well, why was Eddie there? Like, I
think just to kind of throw you off, it's just kind of a funny gag, because I think I thought to myself like, yeah, he's absolutely not. But they got maybe the show, like To Tell the Truth, got lazy and they just picked Eddie. Right, they just picked the black guy so I thought there was the inherent comedy was in that he was just there at all, saying that he might have, like, the possibility of him saying that I'm Jimmy the Weasel Fratiano. I'm like, I mean, you're clearly not.
Yeah, no, I you're making me think about it more. I can see your point. Yeah, I get you. I'm leaning toward your side more with it than I was before, so I'm with you. Yeah.
And this was a real story, so this did pull from the headlines
of that week.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know that week, that year. So 1980 to 81, it was a thing in the news. Jimmy Fratiano was a real guy. he was a mobster. He became an informant and entered the witness protection program. His testimony led to convictions of 5 high-level people in the mafia, so then he entered witness protection.
Okay. So that's my bag. If I knew that, this makes more sense to me then. If I didn't dive deeper into it. So that I totally take back what I say right now. I didn't know that. I didn't know. That's why I was kind of like, what?
I was kind of confused because I had me wondering. I'm like, was this a real thing or did they just do a random mafia thing? And so I just looked up the name Jimmy Fratiano. I'm like, oh yeah, no, this was like a real dude who entered witness protection.
I'll be honest. Only the name Fratiano makes me think, oh, that could be. Everything else seems very like textbook, like mob. Jimmy the Weasel.
The Weasel, right?
That seems like, oh, okay. That's why. But I take everything back what I say now. Yeah. Now that I know this was a real person and the backstory. My bad. I apologize, SNL season 6. Like, it's a better. If I give it out of 4 stars, now that I know it, I can put it at 3.
Okay.
3 out of 4 for this cold open. Now that I know everything.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Thought it was a cold open that did its job. So.
Now that I know that, I agree 100% with you.
Yes. All right, here we go. and we're off. So we have the monologue. Ray Sharkey runs out. A giddy Ray Sharkey runs out, falls down. He's got a lot of energy, Deremy. He's fidgety. He's yelling. He said the F word. He says forget about it like 25 times.
And I look and I see the 59th Street Bridge and I know I'm home, man. I mean, it's like, what a feeling. The worst thing about, I took this flight, it's called the Red Eye. Anybody take the Red Eye? Forget about it. I mean, everybody walks on the plane looking so beautiful. The next day, it's like, forget about it.
I'm going to say something. I don't know if we're on the same wavelength, though.
Yeah. I think we are. I'm a little bit like, it was hard to bring up because of how his life ends in the battles with it. So that's why it was like,
he was open about his proclivities. So I'll bring it up. The monologue was very cokey. I think he felt like he was on a substance.
Yeah, for sure. And that's where I was like, but knowing how Ray Sharkey ended, that's why I'm like, I feel like with David Carradine the week before being drunk, like his life didn't end.
Right, that's true.
So that's why I'm like, I feel bad because
Ray Sharkey was open about like,
he was.
His drug battles and stuff like that. And I think it's evident in this monologue. I was like, whoa. I was distracted from what he was saying. I mean, he was speaking gibberish. He was fidgety, but I felt like his heart was going like a million miles an hour. I was like concerned for him.
No, this was a bad one, and the streak of bad monologues continue. Now, this one, I look at both, and I don't know. I know this isn't what really happened, but it's almost like the writers who are doing the monologue say, "Tell me about your week." And the person does, and they just transcribe it beat for beat real, because everything is just pretty much people come out and say, this is what I did this week, and then on to the show. And I'm like, we're just kind of like saying what we did this week. We're not really giving a lot. And that's what, now he was coked up and all over the place too, so he didn't help it. But I felt like he just talked about, I came back in New York, there was a blizzard, forget about it. And I'm like, what are we, I flew, it was 5 hours. Yeah, I flew 5 hours. I'm like, okay, like, you heard the Red Eye? I'm like, what are we doing
and then
here?
Maybe that he was supposed to, I don't know if they did actually write jokes for him, and he just kind of went off script, and he's like, you know what, I'm not going to do these jokes. Now, let's have some fun. And we're like,
exactly.
Like, what?
Well, because I had to, the first time for a monologue, I think, I had to rewind it because when he falls, I'm like, was that like a pratfall on purpose, or did he just come out too energetic?
I kind of think he just biffed it.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I was like, at first I'm like, is that a pratfall? Then I'm like, I don't know. He might have just, and then the monologue after what he was saying, I'm like, he could have just came out too fast and really fell. I have no idea.
I was worried he was going to pass out at home base.
It was a lot, man. He was a lot.
It was so much. Had me worried for the rest of the show.
Well, he had me anxious watching him. Like, for sure. I was like, oh boy, like,
yeah, I just was wondering how he was going to get through the show and how he was going to be as a host. I was like, ugh.
One thing I'll say from listening to Brad and Gary breakdown episodes and then now us doing it, I always thought about, like, obviously you have too, being lifelong SNL fans, and like, man, what's it like doing this, and that? listening to them and then us doing this makes me think like everyone reacts differently to live. And you don't know how people are going to react until it's time to like it's live, and you're seeing the host especially. It's like, yeah, you see, like, even if you are a performer, not everyone's a live performer.
Exactly.
Some people react differently than others, and I could see, especially if you use a substance, you think that makes me perform better, or I'm just too anxious. It's just interesting to see how people react to this space.
We'll see. We'll see about Ray Sharkey the rest of the episode.
Absolutely.
So the first sketch we have is an ad parody. It's a work time. It's a bunch of guys at the bar drinking gear, getting bombed out of their skulls, quote unquote. And then they go to work drunk. They perform important and dangerous tasks.
You put away more beer than a normal person would drink in a week. And when you finally decide enough is enough, you're completely bombed out of your skull. And now comes work time.
So what'd you think of Work Time?
I loved it, honestly.
Yeah?
I loved it. It cracked me up, and seeing the guy's face. And it was like, because I heard when I'm listening to this and I'm looking at how it's like, like a short film, kind of like to open the show the way it looks. And it's like, really, it's a commercial parody thing. But it was like, yeah, they're drinking all throughout the night. And I'm like, oh, okay. 'Cause I'm thinking it's like, yeah, when you get done a long day, I was thinking like the way it's set up is the opposite. You're
Right.
You know, but it's like you drink all throughout the night, then you go to your job, and then seeing them just look like blitz and smiling, and then all these bad things. It's simple, but it cracked me up.
All of them have really like high stakes, dangerous jobs too.
Yes.
There's a guy who's getting like bricks just falling on his head like the whole time. Somebody's driving. It's like a bulldozer, like just kind of weaving.
It's hilarious
in and out. So I did like the visuals. I like the misdirection. Because you do think it's just a bunch of guys, going out after work after a long day, but then like they're going out before work. It's like, okay, I kind of like that.
I like that. It's funny. I thought it was a great way to open the show, and I was cracking up. Like I was laughing out loud, big time.
Nice and short. I like an ad parody to open the show a lot of times.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
So I think that was good. Work Time.
Yeah, they knocked that one out the park for me. I was loving it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid as well. Our first live sketch of the night, Wasp Interpreter. So two wasps, played by Charles and Ann, not the flying around bee like wasp. That's the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Correct.
Wasp. They don't express their feelings, so they hire an Italian interpreter played by Ray Sharkey.
Is that an accurate translation, Charles?
No, not at all. What do your husband means to say? He's, You bet that's how I feel. And that's not all, you fat cow. You're just like your mother, another fat cow. Fat, stupid cows, your whole family. Do it.
Deremy, Ray, I was talking about how Ray had me worried during the monologue. I think he's really good in this sketch.
Really?
I thought he did a really good job. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I saw it different then.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay. I'll take that back. I don't think he did bad in the sketch. I looked more at the writing. I would have liked it better if he was an interpreter, but he was a wasp as well. And he kind of comes in like proper and was like, and then the jokes were kind of happening there. Because to me, I felt like him having like the Italian, it kind of took away and from it a little bit. And then that's not his fault. I think that's what he was asked to do. But then it was kind of like, I thought it would have been funnier if you get a guy, like, they're not sure, but, like, he can kind of charm them because they like, oh, he's just like us. And if he explained, like, yes, I've studied on how to communicate for us wasps, but I'm here to help you. And then he does the same beats and the same jokes, but he's playing a wasp himself rather than, like, the fish out of water kind of thing. I didn't think that worked. The concept I really liked, though. I was into the concept a lot. So I'll take that back. It wasn't Ray's performance. I thought I would have gone with a different choice and have him play the Italian accent. Yeah,
they could have played that at the Italian. Like I thought maybe like if he was an Italian American and not like a straight up Italian from Italy.
Yeah, I could go with that.
It might have made a little bit more sense. I think I did enjoy the escalation though. By the end, the interpreter initiates lovemaking with Anne, like as Charles, but not so he's interpreting Charles's intent, but just to initiate lovemaking. But then like kind of blurred the lines, which I actually thought was like a good choice there toward the
Everything
end.
worked besides having him be like Italian with the accent, but I thought it was a really smart concept, and like even where they landed it, it was very interesting and funny, but just his accent threw me off. I didn't really dig it.
Yeah, the accent was kind of distracting.
Yeah.
I think too, but I think the performance was really good. It almost was kind of a relief for me to see that like, oh, he's not all over the place. He's actually like a pretty good actor and he can kind of like hone in on a scene. And I just think he worked for me, Deremy.
So
like
my nerves were still there watching this.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe it played into the coked up nature of him. Like he was able to kind of be a tornado up there. But I thought in this instance, I thought it played well. I thought it helped him do what he was asked to do.
Yeah. And that's why I took it back, because he did the part that you could tell that's what they were asking. Now, maybe if you asked someone who wrote this sketch, it's like he went a little bit more than I wanted. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but he played that part well. And I more blame the creative choice of the accent than Ray. So I do see that, but I still was like, you're a lot right now. So I'm like, I don't know if you've come down from the high yet.
Yeah, no, he might still be. Yeah. But throughout the episode, I think I could see him coming down a little bit more. I think he kind of leveled off at some point during the episode.
Yeah.
I think he did. Next we have Vicky and Debbie are back. Kind of. I don't know. This was weird for me. So it was a Vicky. I think it was a Vicky sketch. Vicky was in the sketch, and Debbie was in the sketch.
Hi. Hi. I'm Vicky. This is some girl named Debbie. Hi. Oh, God. He's being so punk. I love it.
The sketch takes place at a club, like a punk rock new wave kind of club. Charles Rocket and Matthew Lawrence play these two record execs, and Ray Sharkey plays Tommy Torture, who's a punk rocker. Yeah, it's supposed to be a Vicky and Debbie sketch, but they don't even enter Deremy until maybe more than halfway through the sketch.
I'm gonna be real here, not to go too ahead, but I think, and it happens, right? Just like athletes, performers, you have an off night, but we've been really high on Gail, and I still am high on Gail, but she was off this episode. And I love the Vicky character so far, those sketches. To me, by far the worst one. And even the one with Elliot Gould kind of had pedophile feels to it.
Yeah.
And that one still had a few jokes in it. This was
that
bad.
one was better as a Vicky sketch. I think that one was better than this one.
Yeah, this was really bad. And as a big SNL fan, I'm embarrassed that I'm blanking on the name, but I thought they were really copying. Who's the character? Gilda playing the rocker who was always you know what I'm talking about?
Slice.
Yes, I've this is bad as a big fan, but I was blanking. I thought that having Ray do that was their spin on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
they were trying to do that, but it just...
because he was obviously inebriated, slurring his words, but then when he actually performed the song, it was just very coherent. Yeah.
So I'm like, are they trying to do that here? But why have Vicky in there? And
why have Vicky in there? Exactly.
And I think it could... I still wouldn't have really dug it. But if it was just about Ray and then you have Charles Rocket in there, it would have been a little better. Having Vicky and Debbie made it worse. It threw it off.
It did.
It was what are we doing?
It did make it worse. Charles actually had my favorite line in the whole sketch when Matthew Lawrence says, what do you know? You book seal acts. And then Charles very intently goes, I book sea lions.
Yeah.
Sea lions. I think Charles actually delivered that.
I think you're right.
Really well. And I'm not going to lie. I'll be real with you. I think the song that Ray performed as Tommy Torture was pretty good.
Ray likes to sing. So
yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Cop and a Half, he's like,
Okay.
and you know,
That's
like,
fair. Okay.
he was in the music, so that's why I was like, yeah, I wasn't surprised.
He was good. Like
that
Ray was genuinely he could have led a rock band.
He should have been the
time.
musical guest instead of the host.
Yeah.
No, like,
he was very good in this sketch.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah. I was like impressed like with his performance. It really threw me with how much I liked him.
Oh yeah, as a comedy sketch, it bombs.
Yeah.
As a performance, that was really awesome.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Which, like, I think would have helped if you don't have Vicky and just play it like Candy Sliced in.
Yeah, exactly. Just do a Candy Slice sketch.
Yeah. Don't have them because that made no sense. And it was like, it's like you combine two sketches. It's like they're sneaking into like this really dangerous dive bar. They're underage, but then it's about this performer who's drunk and can he perform? And then he gets up there and he does. And I'm like, what's the point?
It was a hat on a hat on a hat. It's like Vicky and Debbie didn't sneak into a dive bar. They snuck into another sketch.
Pretty much, yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, you two don't belong here. Because we're underage? No, because this ain't your sketch.
This is not your sketch, yeah.
This is not for you. It was like, that's funny. That's totally true. It was weird.
Yeah. But I'm going to give, honestly, first two live sketches, thumbs up for me, for Ray, for both of them.
Ray, he gets an in-between for the first one. Thumbs up for this. Like, but they do fit into the manic.
Hey.
So you work with what you got.
You lean into the energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
sure.
I'm glad you said that. I wasn't sure, like, is that just my ears? But I'm like, it sounded really
good. It was legit a good song.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Ray. I was jamming to it. I'm like, all right.
For sure. All right, so we have Gilbert next in PSA, or I think, like a PSA. So it's Citizens for a Better America. So Gilbert Gottfried, he plays Dr. Sven Gazzara, and he's asking Ronald Reagan to give him a humdrum job, which he'll refer to for the rest of the sketch, Deremy, standards and practices, as a hum job.
I come from a humble working class family. My father had a hum job, my mother had a hum job, and me, I've had several hum jobs. For every corporate leader and every prestigious high-paid executive, there are many workers underneath him performing the hum jobs.
I was worried because Gilbert's energy was kind of flat at the beginning, but it actually didn't turn out terrible, and it was short. So I actually didn't mind Gilbert. I didn't.
It was okay. It was okay. It started all. It was two things I took. The first was what he's opening with was talking about like people want glamour jobs and and I'm like, man, when people say history repeats itself, it's true because what do you hear the past few years? People, no one wants to do the blue collar jobs anymore. So I'm like, this is 1981, and he's saying, and people were saying it back then. So I'm like, history does repeat.
Yeah.
It may look a little bit different, but it does repeat itself.
That's what a lot of people don't understand is the same complaints people have now about anything.
Yeah,
it's like the same complaints
absolutely
a long time ago. Like
I totally agree. Totally agree with that. And then you're right. I don't know if he was the perfect person to do this. But he built up enough where it worked and it was funny and the them kind of, which is what even today, not as much today with SNL because it's been around but the SNL of those earlier years when you were like sneaking something by, it felt like even if you weren't because where you are or not, gave it like that like kind of edge. And there's something to comedy sometimes where restrictions help it. In a way, this kind of reminded me of it. Where if this was on HBO and he could just say what he wanted, it wouldn't have been as funny. The fact that he's playing with it makes it funnier.
Exactly, that's part of the comedy. This might have been. I wonder if like to get this on the air, to get Hum Job on the air, they might have started off with something more dirty, and this was the compromise. Like they might have started off with something more dirty on purpose to have this kind of be the compromise. You know. Just kind of wear out the standards and practices person and be like, all right, fine. We'll use this as a compromise. So, when that was their goal all along.
No, I agree. I think so for sure.
So good job. I was proud of Gilbert, honestly, for this one.
I was like, I'm seeing a little bit, the less you use Gilbert, the more he can kind of shine through. Like, like, okay.
The next one we have is one of the more interesting sketches that we've had so far this season that I don't know what to make of. And so I'm curious to talk through it with you. So we have Jimmy Carter, played by Joe Piscopo, drinking his sorrows away at a bar because, of course, he lost the election and what's he going to do now? And Ray Sharkey plays a bar patron who starts chatting with Jimmy Carter.
Well, the guy that replaced me retired 15 years ago. You got to look at the bright side of things there, boy. You still got your health, right? When I told my daughter we had to leave Washington, she bit me on the leg. Woe is me. Everybody hates me.
I thought it was kind of funny. He says, "What's your name, Jimmy?" Well, what kind of name is that for a grown man? I kind of like the little rapport and setup there. And then, Deremy, we cut to Charles Rocket, who's a reporter who's broadcasting amidst a group of people who are ringing in January 11th. And I'm like, did the broadcast mess up? Or are we like, or did like the version that we were watching mess up? Did they just cut to a rocket report? What is happening? So I was confused.
This is New York City, and it's 15 degrees, but that kind of cold hasn't hampered the spirits here of these people as we're about to ring in January 11th. Yes, it's just less than a minute away, and we're having such an awfully good time here.
I was confused until I did some. I should have researched Jimmy the Weasel, but I researched
that, but
this.
I didn't research this.
Oh, okay. So I researched this one.
Okay.
See, teamwork, man. See, so because I thought I was maybe going to message you like, hey, this episode something's wrong with it. That's why I was like doing research. I'm like, before I do, let me look at. And this was done on purpose. Part of me likes the attempt, like of something different, but I'm like, you're a big network at NBC. Why not just have it like, oh, wait a minute, we're cutting this, like, point it out first. Like, we're cutting, like, look, let's watch the TV, something's happening. And then you go to Charles. Then to me, I like it, honestly. Yes. It kind of makes more sense, and it's cool. And then the fact that they had the studio audience involved, it would have been. But the fact that abrupt cut through, like, was like, wait a minute, what? It just felt weird. And I'm like, were you trying to be artsy and different, or you just missed the mark?
Yeah, I think they missed the mark. I think that shows in sketch comedy, a little thing like that can impact the entire sketch, because I do really like the attempt. I like the idea of making it larger in scope, of going to something on the street, then cutting back. But I think all it would take is, you're right, it would take just Ray and Jimmy Carter looking at the TV, and then it kind of zooms into the TV, and then we see Charles Rocket, and then it's like more kind of a seamless transition. You know that Charles lives in the same universe as like what we were just watching. Right?
Yeah, true. Very true.
Yeah, and because I thought the rest of it was funny. Ringing in January 11th is like kind of a dumb, funny kind of
it's hilarious
little thing. You're right, getting the studio audience involved in the celebration, and I really respect the attempt, but it was just so clumsy, and the sketch shouldn't confuse the person. And it shouldn't make them just be like, is something wrong with like what I'm watching right now? It shouldn't do that. Regardless of the attempt.
Sketch. Yeah, not in sketch TV. And you're right. And that is the thing that, like, and maybe that's where I can be different, is like sometimes like you get in like scripted shows of TV, like dramas or comedies, that little detail makes a big difference. And then you're right, with sketch, you got to have that detail in there sometimes for me, or like, I'm like, wait, what are we doing? And that is just huge. It would have been okay, because you're right. Joe's Carter impression, I'm like, he's not nailing it. But the jokes started coming in, and I'm like, that's okay, because you're right. Him and Ray going back, that was funny. And him talk about like, hey, you have a few people mad at you, 63 million to be exact. And I'm like, yeah, it made me laugh a little bit. But yeah, this was they did this on purpose, and it was obviously SNL wasn't on for New Year, the ball dropping, so I thought that was funny. The jokes that Charles did when he's in the crowd with people, like, you're bringing in like making things that you hear people ask for, like New Year's Eve, but like January, like it was really good. But that cutaway, and even I watched it again once I researched it. Knowing this information didn't make it any better. It still was like,
just boom. And then all of a sudden, Charles Rocket's there. And we only know that it was part of the same sketch because they cut back at the end and showed Jimmy Carter and the bar patron, Ray, like celebrating along with everybody else. So that's how you knew that it was all tied together. But just very confusing, but I do appreciate the attempt. I truly do.
And it could have been really cool if they just do that one. That's what stinks about this. It's like that one little change would make this like a wow, like I really enjoy it. Like, I'd be telling people that was cool. I wish SNL today would do things like that. Because how often do you see the studio audience involved? Like that's not a frequent thing. And it was like people in the high up. I mean, you would know it better. You've been in there like for a live show, but it wasn't even like the floor people. It was like the whole audience. It was cool.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Just a little clumsy. So we have Weekend Update next, Deremy. A little surprise for me. I guess I forgot this, but we have co-anchors for this Weekend Update. We have Charles Rocket and Gail Mathias.
New York Governor Hugh Carey flew into Kennedy Airport this week with the help of his enormous propeller beanie, which he claims is the world's largest.
And this is proof that I'm going into this pretty blind, because I thought to myself, is this a bit, or did they actually make a change and do co-anchors? So what did you think of the co-anchors putting Gail in there?
So I have to be honest, because shout out to friends of the show, John Schneider and Saturday Night Network, when they do those awesome season reviews. Season 6 I watched when it came out, and in getting ready for this, when we knew we were going to do it, I watched it again. So I didn't know which exact episode, but I knew at one point he does get a co-anchor in Gail. So I didn't know it was this one, but I did know it was coming. Now going into it, when I saw the sketch or like saw Weekend Update, I'm like, good. He needs help.
Yeah.
Like at least at minimum he needs help. I think he shouldn't do it, but okay. But and it's her first time, but Gail was missing the mark here. Like she to me was fumbling really bad.
I thought she stumbled a little bit over jokes and stuff. I thought the jokes sucked. I don't know how much she had a hand in like writing.
No, the writers didn't help her either.
No, the writers didn't help her. I actually kind of liked her delivery more than Charles's usual delivery. I thought at the very least she was more warm in her delivery and a little more comedic.
She's better than Charles already.
Yeah, so I thought she was better than Charles, which I don't know if it's saying much, but I thought Gail was better than Charles, but I don't think they did her any favors. I think they gave her some really crappy jokes.
Yeah, I think she would, and I'm okay with the fact that it's her first time doing it, so giving her like grace. So I think she fumbled through it. You're right, she did show that Gail warmth that you just like, but I felt like she didn't deliver. But you're right, the jokes sucked too.
Yeah.
And they, like, for everybody in the Weekend Update, honestly, the jokes were not good. Like, this was a poorly written Weekend Update, in my opinion.
So we have the first update piece, Mark Peters' crime forecast.
Chicago had the nation's low today of a mere 12 murders. Around the country, we see Boston, and that's 23, New York, 19, Philadelphia, warmed up a little from yesterday with 37.
We have Gilbert back on Update. Didn't seem to really work out for him. I think the first handful of times that they tried him on Update as different characters. So he's back as Mark Peters. He cites the murder stats on his murder map. So he does national stats for all the major cities. Philadelphia, no pun intended, caught a stray.
It definitely did.
There on the murder map. Detroit caught the biggest one, though.
Yeah, so but true. There's truth in it, too.
Okay.
Sadly, but there's some truth in that. Yeah. Philly, yes. The murder rate is high, sadly. But,
and then he does a local crime forecast in the New York area with all the boroughs. I think maybe this is a low bar, but I do think this is his best performance on Update for Gilbert so far.
Absolutely. It's a low bar, but we both can appreciate, I think, even more than others of today, like some dark humor. And so it's a dark, at first I'm like, oh, this is too dark, but like I thought it was good. Like it was, I thought it was a really good concept. And I do think you're right. The bar was low, but Gilbert did a good job. So I'm starting to see when you can use him in spots, and I think maybe that's the Eddie, even though I think we see the past episodes, including tonight, he's a featured player, but he's really part of the cast right already with his airtime.
Exactly.
And so Eddie emerging, you can take the load off of Gilbert.
Yeah.
I can see Gilbert fitting in better a little bit here with stuff.
He's on track maybe to have his best night of the season,
Yes,
Gilbert.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree.
So I did enjoy this as well. I like the concept. I think Gilbert did a pretty good job. Like I like this.
I'm with you. I agree.
We have Joe Piscopo returning with sports, which maybe it just might become, seems like it's becoming just an every update thing, which I don't have a problem with.
You know me.
Yeah.
And if you listen to our doing this season so far, I've liked all of them. The first one that I didn't like,
really,
by Joe. Yeah. I which you can't get them all right.
Meanwhile, 1981, new year, new stories, new players, new teams. Prediction: the big sport for 1981, bowling. This dynamic sport has been ignored for too long. Let's take a look at some exciting action.
So I still like him doing the sports beat. Like, as of now, I'm still excited to see that character. But I didn't think this was until, which I don't know if it was done on purpose or not, what happened at the end of it. With the
that was hilarious.
That was funny.
That actually, like, I think that's what did it for me. I think the whole thing was so, but I cracked up at the end. So his whole sports update was he made a prediction that the big sport for 1981 would be bowling. Joe has this tabletop bowling set with a little walking bowling ball.
Yeah. Yep.
and he set it to like walk, and the bowling ball walked into some pins, and the crowd was going crazy. The crowd actually really was digging this. And then what Deremy was alluding to was at the end when Joe's sports update finished, and Charles started delivering his next joke, the little bowling ball walked into the shot.
Yes.
I loved it, Derek.
I wrote a note, the funniest thing Charles has been a part of, like on SNL so far, was that, and his reaction to like he played it.
Oh, he played it really well, Charles.
Yeah.
Did. Yeah.
That shows his, like, to you. I'm glad you told me his broadcasting experience, how he there I could see it, like how he played it. But do you think Joe knew that was going to happen, or he just did it and it
I don't know.
That was funny.
I hope that Joe just sort of like, or maybe it was an accident, like he wound the little thing too much and it just kept walking.
Because you can hear the studio audience laugh, building, like, it's funny when they see it first and they're laughing. So I'm kind of like, what? And then you see it come into the frame and I was dying. I'm like, that was really funny. Like, it was a happy accident, I think.
Yeah, we'll call it a happy accident. Whatever it was, it had me rolling, and Charles flicking the little bowling ball with his pencil and stuff is just like, the whole sports report was like okay, but that part just won me over, whether it was scripted or not. I think it's a happy accident. So I really enjoyed that. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm liking the vibe of this update so far. For some reason, it's just
different,
kind of a different feeling kind of update. Then we have Eddie Murphy coming on, talking about registering for the draft.
I'm telling you, look, if you want a tough soldier, you want to draft somebody that's really tough, mean, serious business, mess you up, this dude that you should draft, his very name scares the hell out of me. This is the guy right here. This is your man. Get this guy, Garrett Morris. Serious business. I know he's a little overage, but word has it he has a lot of free time right now. Back to you, Charlie.
I got beef with Eddie here.
You got beef with Eddie? Why?
This is huge, man. Mind blown. And if you're, which maybe people who don't listen
this whole thing worked for me, so I'm like curious to see what you're gonna say.
I have beef, and I'll see. Maybe you didn't think this when you saw it. Maybe you did. So if you know SNL history, you know the lore that years after Eddie left, David Spade did his Hollywood Minute and took a shot at Eddie. And Eddie was pissed.
Some hypocrisy going on.
Which I never knew this, because when I heard Eddie talk about it years later, he made great points, which is like, I'm a part of the show. You don't take a shot at someone a part of the show like their movie bomb. And I'm like, that's true. Sandler, people have had movies bomb, and SNL doesn't come after them like that over like it. So I was like, I see you, Eddie. But then I'm seeing this bit, and he does the thing with Garrett Morris and saying, like, I hear he has free time, meaning like his career is going nowhere.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, that's a shot at an SNL guy that you did. And maybe he doesn't even remember, but I'm like, oh, that whole Spade thing, I'm not saying he didn't have a right to be upset by it, but I'm like, well, you're a hypocrite. And I never know this happened.
Me either.
So
I didn't even think of it from that angle. And I honestly, when Eddie was pissed about the David Spade thing, I guarantee you he didn't remember making a joke about Garrett.
You're right. I don't think. But now I'm like, I kind of wish we had more pull. Because I want this to get to Eddie being like, well, what do you say now? Like, because everyone who's listened, and I know Eddie is my guy, but I got to be fair. That's BS, man. Like, you can't. You're getting at him, but you did this at poor Garrett. At least Eddie, like you could say, David Spade's punching up. You know, when he did that Eddie Murphy joke. I
kind of thought of that too. I'm like, I actually liked that he referenced Garrett, even though it was mean, but I'm like, oh, that's, I didn't think that was off limits, and I wasn't offended when David brought up Eddie either. Like, I thought,
no,
I didn't think that was like terrible.
I didn't get it until I heard Eddie's point of view.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I could see it. But for a while, I was like, I don't really, you guys are comedians, there's jokes. But then I saw Eddie's point of view when it took years for him to talk about it. When I finally heard Eddie talk about it, I was like, okay. And then I also got Eddie's point of view because Eddie, as we know, is the breakout star, one of the few stars who wasn't on with Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, hey, I don't really know Lauren. Like, and those other producers who were like Lauren's guys, would they do that if I was on with Lauren, or is it a shot because we don't know I'm an Ebersol, like Gene Domadian guy, so I could see his point of view. With Eddie tonight on the Weekend Update and this episode, I get, if you want to reference Garrett, because he talked about being the token black cast member. I was good until the end when he said he's not really doing anything, and implying like his career's going nowhere. If he doesn't have that part, I'm totally fine with it.
Okay.
But I'm like, that's a shot at Garrett. And I'm just like, well, and I do believe Eddie probably has forgotten this.
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
But
I didn't mind the shot though. I don't know.
I did with the hypocrisy thing.
Well, hypocrisy aside, I actually didn't mind that. I thought it was funny just to even reference Garrett and reference a former cast member.
Oh, for sure. The jokes aren't bad.
I think everything hit for me. I think his simple commentary of "I don't want to be drafted" was just like cut to the point. I think him talking about who's going to be the token black guy on Saturday Night Live, him doing his Stevie Wonder and Bill Cosby, even to the Garrett mention. I actually think the whole thing worked, and I didn't even have any hypocrisy in my mind. So I watched it and I was like, "This is working for me."
It's hilarious until that part. Until that was just like, wait a minute, because it wasn't setting up to be that way. But then he takes the shot at the end, and then I'm like, and only because it was such a big SNL deal. Eddie didn't go to the 20. Eddie didn't return for years until the 40th. It was at that point 30 years since he returned. And a big part of it, people say, was because of that Spade joke. So that's why I'm like, oh, well, look what you did here. So I had to say it here because that's what stuck with me. Like, you're right. The Bill Cosby impression, hilarious. Stevie was funny. The jokes were great. I'm just like, woo-wee. Little revisionist history now.
Watching it from 1981's perspective, it killed. Watching it now, okay, there's a little bit of more context associated with it.
I agree.
Sure.
It's funny. He was funny, though. It was great.
I'm going to say, as a whole, by far, in my opinion, the best update of the season.
And it still was sloppy. That's how bad
it was. So
update's
sloppy.
been.
It was sloppy. The joke sucked. Still, to me, best update of the season.
Oh yeah. This is making sense, and we still have a ways to go of why there was a stretch where Weekend Update fell off until like Lauren came back. Like, I'm starting to see now why that happened. Because if this is the best update so far, like the bar is very low.
It's very, very, very low. But the overall vibe to me was way different. It was a little more loose. You had like these moments that I could latch onto, and so easily my favorite update.
You had to make it like, usually update is if there's the host and then the co-host, and then you have someone come in for a part. There's a lot of people involved in this here. Gilbert, Joe, Eddie, Gail's now a co-host. So it's like one big sketch instead of a traditional
it felt more like a sketch. You're right.
Yeah.
It felt more like a big sketch, and most of it worked for me, except for the writing. which I guess is like pretty
the biggest thing. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So after update, musical performance. So we have Jack Bruce and friends performing "Dancing on Air."
People say it feels real. Don't seem to have any feelings.
And so last week I said I didn't know who Jack Bruce was. It turns out I knew who he was. I just didn't know him by name. So Jack Bruce is from Cream. He's the bassist in Cream, like a legendary bassist from Cream. But I knew Eric Clapton. I knew Ginger Baker, but not Jack Bruce from Cream. So I owe Jack Bruce an apology. He's a very important music figure.
Yes. I know Jack Bruce because a song that I've liked in the past, but honestly, a little side note, I went away with friends, that you've gotten to meet, and my friend Calvin suggested to play albums, and I knew Calvin loves Frank Zappa, and so one of the albums he suggested on our road trip was Frank Zappa's Apostrophe. And I don't know how much you're a Zappa guy or not, or
here and there.
Yeah. So
I listened to Little Mothers of Invention.
Yeah.
Stuff from the 60s. But, yeah.
So, the title song, Apostrophe, is a big jam session that is awesome. And since I've heard it a few weeks, I haven't heard this song in years. I've been playing it every day.
Oh.
And Jack Bruce is on it, and he's killing it. But Frank Zappa kind of felt like he's all over, so he didn't really like playing with him. But I'm like, this was a brilliant song. So it's funny, I didn't think about it. While we're talking about Jack Bruce, I was researching the song Apostrophe, seeing that he was in that song, and I didn't connect it last week.
Yeah.
So after we talked, I'm like, oh, that's the same guy
Okay.
who's guesting on the song Apostrophe for Frank Zappa. So
yeah, he's the one guy from Cream who I didn't know by name.
Yeah.
Ginger Baker,
Yeah.
Eric Clapton.
Same here.
Apologies to Jack Bruce. But
Same here.
As far as the song goes, not the most exciting song to me, but I thought the musicianship was great.
Mm-hmm.
I think all the musicians were world class. I think the guy who was playing keyboards played with the E Street Band.
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, earlier in the 70s. Just like world class musicians. I thought it had a couple nice crescendos in the song, but it was just kind of a jazzy, kind of like pleasant. But you can appreciate musicianship if you're a real like music fan. You can see that these guys are awesome musicians.
Oh yeah, I kind of get why. I feel like it probably wouldn't land today with how big SNL is and attend. But I wish they would have more of that because, like you said, it wasn't the flash. It was just great musicianship, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. Like sometimes I think that's what you need besides like big names or big star. It's like just people who can play music really well, and that's what you got here. So I like this performance a lot.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And so the show with the weekend update, the musical performance, gave Ray Sharkey a chance to kind of level off a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's in this next sketch, Film's Confession. So it's Ray playing a detective who got a guy to confess. Gilbert's the guy. He got Gilbert to confess, and he has to get it on videotape. And Ray, as the director, is treating this, or as like the cop, is treating this like a director would be directing an actor in a scene.
That night I made passionate in love with my girl. Later we fought, she kicked me out, then I went out on the street to buy a gun. You got it?
Well, I'll give it a try.
Okay. Let's do it again, okay, guys?
Right straight ahead.
How's everybody feeling? Good? You look right into the camera. Okay, and action.
It was December 14th. I was lying on my couch with my girl.
I like the concept. I thought Gilbert was actually pretty good in this too. Like it's honestly continuing the pretty decent night for me with Gilbert.
I think this is Gilbert's best. And I think I said this like a previous episode, but I think this is his best. He's getting better. He really is. I don't know if he's just the pressure's off a little bit with, like I said, Eddie and Matthew Lawrence, people like getting a little bit more airtime, or I know he did not like his season at 30 Rock, and
no,
if maybe that whole like screw it, I don't care attitude kind of sometimes that works for people. Because I think at one point he did kind of get like, I don't like it, I'm miserable, screw it, and maybe it worked. I don't know, but he's getting better, and he was to me the best part of this sketch was Gilbert.
Yeah, I actually think Ray did a good job too. I'm like Team Ray this episode.
You really are.
I really am.
Which is a nice surprise. It's
you know,
nice.
I am Team Ray Sharkey this episode. I think he did a really good job in this sketch, playing this like director, like he's really committed director. Like, okay, well, I'm going to need a little bit more. I'm going to need this from you specifically in this, and I like this turn that this took because I think maybe even modern SNL would play it that Ray, you know, the cop was playing it as director. They would have had the person playing the actor being confused and being like, what? I don't want. But the fact that they had the inmate go along with it, to me, made it work more so.
I'm going to say something here, and people may moan and groan here, but I'm going to mention the other podcast that we do, Pop Culture 5.
All right. Wherever you get your podcast, Spotify.
Yeah, please listen.
Apple,
please support. We appreciate you. And we bring up, a lot of different topics, and there's the veto power and all those things. And I'm going to say, even more than we've done 150 or 60 episodes of that, every time you have flipped me where I go in, I've watched this episode twice, getting ready for it.
Okay.
And my thoughts on Ray on these sketches were like, not great. And then when we're talking about it and hearing you talk, and I'm like, yeah, I see that point. Yeah, I would have been vetoed 3 times today. This is Pop Culture 5. Because I went into this being like, it was just Gilbert. And then hearing you talk about it, I'm like, yeah, Thomas is right there. I see where he's coming from. I'm like, maybe Ray was better. Ray's better than I thought. He's having a better night than I really thought he was having. I was kind of ready to rip Ray. And now I'm like, oh, Ray, maybe hey, R.I.P. Apologies to Ray. You're flipping me. You vetoed me without even knowing it like 3 times on Ray tonight.
I'm a Ray Sharkey truther as an
props
SNL host.
Props to you. I came in here ready to being like, oh, Ray didn't do it and I think I stayed with how manic he was in the monologue. Kind of stayed with me and affected.
Yeah.
Because you're bringing up points, and I'm like, yeah, I can see. Yeah, he's right.
And maybe how manic he was in the monologue has led to pleasant surprises for me in these sketches. Because I thought he was going to be a train wreck, and then I'm seeing his acting here, and I'm just like, is this a good host? And you know what? It plays into a theory that I have. I'm going to save it for the end of the show, but I have a theory on hosts that I've shared every now and then. I think Ray might fall into this.
Okay, I can't wait to hear it. It's interesting.
Yeah, so I liked this sketch.
I thought it was just Gilbert. I thought it was, you're right, the concept I liked, but now that we're talking about Ray and I'm looking at it in a different angle, the sketch grows on me even more. At first I thought Ray was kind of annoying in his part, but then I'm like, okay, like that manic does go into all the characters he's playing tonight. So even though, like, obviously, be sober, crack is whack, all those things. But like, if it plays into it, it plays into it. So like, I guess props to the people writing the sketches, the writers, producers, because they leaned into it. So like, it does work for what he's doing here.
Ray's just executing the assignment as given.
You flipped me.
Yes.
You flipped me,
Team
man.
Ray Sharkey.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm with you now. Yeah.
Here we go. Next, we have a short horror movie trailer revolving around the "Have a Nice Day" face.
You want to scream, but there is no one who will hear. Have a nice day.
Open soon at a theater near you. Rated Y. No one admitted.
Deremy, this didn't do anything for me one way or the other. I'm seriously just like Switzerland on this. I'm like, eh.
Yeah, I wasn't like, oh, it's bad, but I didn't really care. I mean, I'm glad it was short.
Yeah,
it wasn't long.
That's true. That's a positive,
so I think that they got that right. They didn't make it too long. But I don't know. Only I can think. I don't know. I didn't look this up. There's like the smiley face. Did it get popular around this time?
I thought so, and my only reference for that is Forrest Gump.
Same here. Yeah,
okay.
Same here. Which I think does line up.
It does.
Like
he
I
was
think that
running around.
That's like
this
the
time.
early '80s. Yeah, like '81 or something.
Yeah.
So maybe we should. I gotta look that up because maybe cause that's the only thing I could think was like the smiley face like phenomenon. I mean, it's been around forever now, but like, was this like a popular thing now?
But the
That's
actual,
why they did it.
Like that smiley face.
Yeah.
I think it was an early 80s thing.
Okay,
And
okay.
both Deremy and I think that because of Forrest Gump.
Yes. That's all I could reference. I should have looked it up, but
I know I meant to, but then I just carried on living my life and watching the rest of this.
you know, it's
episode.
weird. Yes, because I'm so used to doing research-based podcast, so this is very like different for me to like kind of go in blind with this a little bit. So that's why I'm trying like because we talked about it like just to no preconceived notions or nothing, and I want to hear like your raw interpretation of these sketches, and I want you to hear mine. So then I'm not doing. It's kind of weird, but I'm not doing research, and then now I'm seeing moments where I'm like, wish I would have researched this more. So it's a weird thing, but yeah, I'm with you. It was just Switzerland is a good way to put it. It was just whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Move on. Well, moving on to Eddie Murphy playing a guy who's selling drugs and babies at the park. He's selling white babies. So Ann and Joe are this couple who really want a baby and are inquiring about the white baby that Eddie is selling.
We're interested in the white baby.
Yeah, well, how many you want?
Just one, I think.
Well, I'll give you a price break if you buy two, plus I throw in some talcum powder.
Hey, look, I got some cocaine, I got downers, I got... may we ask who the actual parents are?
What did you think of Eddie Murphy selling white babies in the park, Deremy?
So this one you flipped me on Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And this is still one I don't blame Ray. I don't think he was needed in the sketch.
I completely agree. I think I wrote down that Ray Sharkey's character was just in the way.
Yes, he was just including there's one point they literally box him out. You don't see him. Like they stand in front of him. So then I'm like, well, if you do that, then why is he in this? So, and like I said, that's not Ray's fault.
No.
But I thought it was the concept I really like. I think the writers are getting better at these concepts and thinking outside the box. Like you're seeing that more and more with these sketches, and also talking about social stuff. Like they're at least doing things that make sense.
Yeah.
And I thought Joe was really funny in this too, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like everything that was happening with Eddie and Ann and Joe. And as much of a truther as I am with Ray Sharkey, I just think his character was getting in the way in this particular sketch. Then Denny came in, and I thought it was kind of funny because, like, I even thought to myself, this took a kind of a sad turn because Denny came in and asked if anyone had seen her baby, but then Anne was funny because she was unwilling to hand the baby over. But then I thought, kind of the pressure the pressure valve got released when it turned out that Denny had purchased that same baby in the park last week. So I'm like, okay, it's not as like sad as as a woman legitimately losing her baby.
It lands, and like you want to be different, but that's how a sketch. It took you on some turns, but things made sense, and then you had a beginning, middle, and an end. It landed, and it was funny, and I think everyone, minus Ray, who didn't need to be there, everyone did their part well, and it was. I think I like sketches where everyone can get involved, not just one. Some sketches are built that way, where one person gets the jokes and other people are there to set it up. But I feel like everybody was funny. Like you said, Denny, Eddie, Ann was funny, Joe was funny. It really worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. The next one, I liked a lot of elements of it, but this is an example of the end just having a big thud for me and maybe ruining a lot of the sketch for me. So we have Surrogate Mothers, and this is Yvonne Hudson's first appearance of the night. And so we have Ann and Gail. They play two women who are both having babies through surrogate mothers, and Denny and Yvonne are the surrogate mothers, and they're commiserating on how hard it is to be a surrogate mother.
Why do you put up with her?
I need a job. What else can I do?
Are you kidding me? I mean, you're in the driver's seat. Hey, watch this. Hey, Starro Carol, how about a cup of coffee on the double?
You shouldn't let your surrogate drink coffee.
Now, Louise, you shouldn't be drinking coffee when you're carrying.
Yeah,
well, how'd you like me to do a belly flop over there?
The sketch leads to Denny telling Yvonne, like, you don't understand the power we have as surrogate mothers. Mm-hmm. We could get away with stuff. We have power over them. So basically, I think it was Anne or Denny's the surrogate mother for Anne. and Anne's trying to like tell her how to behave or what to do, and she's just and Denny's doing things like, oh, hope I don't take this LSD, that would be bad for the baby. So I actually I liked that idea, Deremy.
I thought it was a good idea. I liked Denny. Denny was funny in this, making me laugh. I do agree with you. It was like, yeah, that's an interesting concept. Like, surrogates kind of like taking the power. She was funny.
Yeah,
she was funny. I did like her. I feel they didn't. I don't know why they didn't give Yvonne more.
I don't know. How they're treating Yvonne so far is pissing me off, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's just it's stereotyping, it's typecasting. It's like talk about making it. One thing about Eddie that makes him great, and you see it here, but then as the seasons go on, he's not a token. Even if he is like the only, like he's not a token though. The way he's being used, he's shining. He's got variety. They are clearly making her a token.
They're
black
tokenizing
woman,
her,
and it's just sad and frustrating.
All the way to the point where they needlessly had her paraphrase a line from Gone with the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know nothing about Birth and No Baby. Like, that honestly kind of pissed me off that they had her paraphrase Gone with the Wind line as like her big end to the sketch. Like, why?
The only reason why it doesn't piss me because I know that we know SNL's history with this. We know that's why Leslie Jones spoke up and said what she said, because it's been going on since the beginning of this show, and it's clear here where, honestly, for that kind of crap, and I don't know how Yvonne felt because, from coming from being an NBC page to being on a TV show, that's like a fairy tale kind of story.
She's just grateful for the opportunity or something.
I don't want to speak for her,
right?
But as a fan, I almost rather you just would have get rid of that line and then have Anne or some switch, not Anne, but somebody else in that position. Then like just have somebody else do that, because or just have Denny do it by herself.
Yeah, have Gail play a woman who's thinking about getting a surrogate, and then the sketch would have worked pretty much the same mechanically.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So that it's a bother.
Yeah, but it was a good sketch up, and then that I was just like, ugh.
Conceptually, it's good.
Dirty.
Yeah, it's good conceptually, but it just shows when you have I don't know how, besides Pam Norris is a woman, she's a white woman, but you have no black women as a then you're going to get this kind of with like mostly just white guys writing for a black woman. You get crap like this.
Let's make her say something from Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
Next one is a short film, The Man with the Black Hat. I think it's a short film by William Deere. So it's a guy walking around with his pants around his ankles, talking to people, and he's shown from the thighs down. And then he meets a woman with her underwear around her ankles.
I don't guess I've ever seen you around here before.
Well, hello. I don't think I've ever seen you either. Oh, my. What a beautiful hat.
And then the sketch ends. So, what'd you make of this?
Yeah, I've been a fan of the short films. I feel like tonight they're not really hitting with me here. This was like, I don't know, this like trying to do like a double entendre thing here or something, or
I don't know what they're trying to do. This is a big flat line for me.
Yeah, I didn't get I wouldn't think Smiley Face would be better than something. But this, I guess I would take that over, because you're right, Smiley Face was Switzerland. This I just flat out didn't get and didn't like.
I didn't get this or like this. Is very juvenile to me. It just didn't have a purpose. So, yeah, short film's not in tonight.
Nah. Which you don't hit them all, but yeah, I was kind of surprised.
We have an infomercial next. It's an ad for Stop-A-Nut.
Too good to be true? Well, there's more. Stop-A-Nut comes with grenade launcher, laser attachment, and vegetable juicer. And maybe you're thinking, will I be comfortable inside a Stop-A-Nut unit? What's it like in there? Well, how does this look for comfort? And maybe you ask, does Stop-A-Nut just stop nuts? No.
Which isn't a prophylactic ad. It's an ad for a suit of armor with different bells and whistles to fend off attackers. Charles is he plays the pitchman. He's an okay pitchman. I think he's a serviceable pitchman. here. But so basically, it's a suit of armor that has like you can do, which basically I think the one thing that seems like you can do is shoot what I think is fire extinguisher. Or something from the nose. I don't know. I was more interested in wondering about the mechanics of the suit rather than what was even happening in the sketch.
I agree. I didn't really love the sketch until, hearing Rapper's Delight being played at the end. Other than that, the sketch was kind of weird to me. Mm-hmm. You're right. Charles wasn't not a bad pitch man, doing his best Danny impression, I guess, but it just kind of was, distracting. And kind of just like, what are we doing here? And
yeah. Sounds like a high school theater troupe writing SNL.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's too much going on for me here. Like,
yeah.
And like, someone needs to rein this in. Like,
yeah. Which is a big theme of the night, I think, and maybe of the season a lot of times. Is somebody needs to rein this in.
Oh, yeah. You see, for those who want to question the importance of a Lorne Michaels, so much of maybe all the negative stuff that we've seen this season, there's not one time where I'm like, if Lorne was there, this would not have flown. This would not have happened if Lorne was there. And this is something like Lorne would not have put this one on.
No, he would have been like, it's pointless, or add something to it. We need escalation.
Yeah. I don't think it would even get to
point.
Yes, for some of the ones, including this one that we've seen this season, I don't think you even get past a table read with Lorne. I don't think they even get to dress. Some of these are Lorne would have shut it down.
Yeah, it's that thing where we want to put something good on the show.
Yeah, we want people to enjoy the show. Come back next week.
Yeah,
it's like
I've been pretty much enjoying a lot of this episode, but it's starting to run on fumes here.
Oh yeah,
toward the end, big time. So the next one, we definitely see that. I think with the next one, the waiter maker. So Charles plays this flashy celebrity waiter named Joey D that the women are going to the restaurant just to have him as their waiter. And Ray Sharkey is a restaurant manager. He's fed up with Joey D's attitude and all this stuff. So Ray says, I made you and I can make anybody I want. So he chooses Gilbert, who's a busboy, who he wants to mold into the next celebrity waiter.
How would you like to be a waiter?
But me, you gotta be kidding, I'm a pig.
Today, maybe. But I'm gonna make you really big.
A really big pig?
A big star. Like Joey D.
Because I feel like, I could be wrong, with the old Hollywood system, we can make you a star.
Yeah,
kind of spoofing that.
I think that's what they were
Which could be funny as a concept.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the concept is crazy. I almost think if you did this as a short film, or a parody, kind of what we got in the beginning with the guys drinking all night and then going to work. I think if you make it like that, it makes it more clear. Imagine it's a short film and they make it it's serious. Charles is the most acclaimed waiter of all. He kind of he's this big time actor, but he's a waiter, and then he's arguing and he's you get what's his name? Ray being I made you, I can get someone else. And then he's you show him training Gilbert, trying to make him a waiter, and then he tries to be if you do it
title
that,
cards in this as a substitute for the training or whatever. Yeah.
And I think that was bad. And I think it just, once again, I'm not to be a broken record, I kind of do get the concept, and I get I could see where you're going with it. But just some changes or someone reeling the writers in would make this a great sketch instead of not only is it not great or even good, it fails.
Yeah. And I don't even blame the performers. I'm still on Team Ray Sharkey even after this very messy sketch that they presented us.
Yeah,
and Gilbert didn't do a great job here, but they didn't really give him anything. I mean, that was the role, was to play a shy busboy.
Right. I think 95% of people couldn't make that role
Maybe
work.
Adam Sandler could kind of did make a similar role work as a busboy or a trainee or whatever.
It takes I'm thinking Eddie, people who Will Ferrell, the best of the best who can just make anything funny is like it, but most people couldn't do anything
No.
with what they put Gilbert in right here.
No, even Charles was okay. Like he was very committed to the Joey D character. Just the writers just wrote a very messy sketch.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we still have a ways to go. So far, more than the cast, but I'm definitely being like, oh, when Dick Ebersol comes in, yeah, we got to clear out these writers.
Yeah.
That even more than the cast, like a lot of these writers got to go because it's not working.
Yeah, for sure. So next we see Joe Piscopo as a pitchman. We saw Charles as a pitchman before. Joe as a pitchman who's pitching something for $9.99.
Hi, everybody. Here's great news. It's here, the greatest little discovery ever. There's absolutely nothing to mix or measure. No movie parts. No messy creams. Here's how to order. Trace your face on a piece of paper and send $9.99 to Box 0, New York, New York, 99999. Be sure to include ring size. Don't delay, because when they're gone, they're gone. Do it today. Send no money. Just rush $9.99 to Box 0, New York, New York, New York, 99999.
I think the idea was for Joe to pitch something that's all flash but no substance. So you get the whole pitchman, it's the best thing ever, blah, blah, blah. They actually never tell you what it is, which I think is a pretty decent, like that might be an old like comedic trope, but I think it's a trope that kind of works a lot. This ended too quickly for me. Like it almost just happened too fast. And then I was left shrugging before he even like really got going.
Joe has some funny moments, but not the best night for Joe either. And I do think, once again, like the writing wasn't great either, but it just kind of was like it didn't work. It just was, I feel like they were, which we kind of see that they're short on time. We're trying to fill things. What's classic SNL? Those pitches, those pitchmen that Danny did. Let's throw those in there. But there's no purpose or passion behind them. It's just sell something and talk like a funny salesman. Go.
Exactly. So we're running on fumes, basically. I don't know, the last few sketches, it's just been chugging along, running on fumes. And then the show, the producers and writers and stuff are like, what do? We can't end the show early. We've already burned through all the material that we have for the night. What are we to do? So what do they do, Deremy?
Oh, they do something that, if you know SNL history, is infamous here. Is when they're short on time and they ask this 19-year-old kid named Eddie Murphy to go out there and pretty much do a stand-up bit to entertain the crowd.
Yeah.
Which, I mean...
Go vamp. Go do something. Save us, Eddie.
How many people in the audience have seen black people fight before? For those of you who haven't, I'll show you what it's like. What did you say to me, man? What? No, wait a second. Now, be cool, man. Me and you gonna talk. Little dude, did you hear what he said about my mama? The dude said my mama got a wooden leg with a kickstand.
There are things where I agree with you. If I had to give my number one cast member of all time, due to the whole thing, it's Will Ferrell. But there's certain things like this where if someone makes the argument for Eddie Murphy, I definitely I can't argue it because I don't know any other cast member you're going to ask to do something like this. Like,
True.
Hey, save the show. Just you go out there and do something. Like, I don't. Maybe Will Ferrell might be the only other cast member I think could. And I don't. Will's not a stand-up, so that's where Eddie is just like, and he's 19. And how many weeks has he been a featured player? Like 3 or 4.
Exactly.
And he's already asked to do something like this. Like, that's incredible.
They know who the most talented cast member is and who's somebody who can do that.
Right. And I don't know if you felt this, but just being a fan of Eddie and Eddie talking about his especially early stand-up where he was just copying Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
It really felt like I was, especially a young Pryor, it felt very reminiscent of seeing those clips of Pryor, like before Pryor went dirty when he was like being clean, trying to be like the Bill Cosby type. I could really see that in Eddie doing his like stuff now with the different characters and switching. Like it was impressive to see, for sure.
Did you like the actual content of the bit, like Eddie acting out what it's like when black people fight? Like, what did you think of the actual content?
So in 2026, it's okay. But in 1981, that was you didn't see that on TV.
The mama jokes and stuff like that were more.
You didn't see that on TV, which I think Eddie did do. Like, people don't talk about for TV. Like, he brought a lot of black culture that wasn't on TV to the mainstream, and especially through SNL that people didn't see before. So I look back at that. Like, the jokes are funny. It's more of Eddie's talent, and Eddie just can do these voices.
Yeah,
and
he's
go
just
into
a
character.
magnetic person.
Yeah,
on
yeah. So
camera,
it's like I think if like now I'm like, and also to be fair, I know the bit. I've heard it many times. This is a classic thing of like this is. If people didn't know Eddie was a star, like a lot of people saw this and thought Eddie's a star. So I do get that, but it was funny. It was funny. It was just more like impressive. Like the show is short, Eddie, go out here and save us.
Yeah, and yeah, he definitely tried his best, but put in a tough position, but he did really well, I think. And then he introduces Jack Bruce and friends. I thought that was cool that Eddie was the actual, was the one to actually introduce the musical guest. Jack Bruce and friends performing "Livin' Without Ya." I like this a little more than the first song. I think because I think it was just a little more upbeat, and I think there was a really nice guitar solo. I think it's the same dude who was it the same dude who was playing keys in the first song, then doing the guitar. I know he plays both.
Yes, correct.
So more upbeat, nice guitar solo. I was digging this song.
I liked it. I for not knowing, and I probably should have, but who Jack Bruce was, it's a pleasant surprise. Like 2 for 2. I enjoyed the first one too, but I agree. This one I think was even a little bit better. But I was pleasantly, it was a subtle home run, I would say, for a musical guest.
No, I think this was a really good musical guest and a legendary bassist and somebody who can recruit just world-class musicians. So I definitely really enjoyed the booking. I was pleasantly surprised. And I was pleasantly surprised with the host as well. I'm still team Ray Sharkey on tonight, man.
I was going into this episode going to be like, man, I think they both were on substances, but David Carradine was better. But now that we're talking, I'm team Ray with you, and Ray did a much better job than I thought.
Yeah.
After watching it, like I was why it's good to have these conversations. And be open minded.
Exactly. Know? Yeah, especially the dread that we both felt watching the monologue. I'm like, is he even going to make it?
Yeah.
Through the show.
Yeah, I still stand by the monologue being rough.
Oh, no, that was rough.
But he I don't know if he had people backstage helping him pull it together, but he pulled it together afterwards very well. And I do respect like the things that didn't necessarily work for him after the monologue weren't his fault.
Exactly.
Like it wasn't his fault why it didn't work. So big up to him.
Exactly. So there you have it. Another episode in the book. So, any reasons for optimism from you, Deremy?
Getting more of the great Eddie Murphy. We are seeing that our first time meeting was about Dick Ebersol. And Dick Ebersol is a TV legend. He is important to SNL legend in a lot of different ways. But I think the lore is kind of wrong here, at least when it comes to Eddie Murphy. I think under Gene's time, Eddie was being put as the star already before Dick Ebersol even came in. And that's a pleasant surprise because the story, we talked about it in our preview, was like, did Gene miss the mark on Eddie? And maybe she did as far as hiring him. That's debate. But like, as far as using him, they're using him. I mean, he's become the breakout star to me already in this season.
He's using him way more than I expected.
Yeah. So
I thought he was just going to be in season 6. I didn't think we were going to be talking about Eddie as much as we have been.
Right, me too. I thought he'd just we see him in some spots, and then that. But like we talk about the other cast members. I mean, this is the 6th episode, and we could say by the 4th one, definitely by the 5th one, he's in it just as much as almost anybody, and his stuff really sticks out. So I'm just like, Gene saw it too, or somebody under Gene's regime saw it too. It wasn't just when Dick Ebersol came in. So history needs to be rewritten on that.
Yeah, I agree. I think they found, or I wonder. I'll say this: it's just I might be optimistic about this, but I do wonder if they might have found a workable formula for Weekend Update that will maybe make it more enjoyable going forward.
I would hope so. I think definitely Charles needed help. So I think the fact it's not just him, and if you have him and Gale, if it sticks with being Gale, is a plus. Like Charles by himself with just, Joe coming in or Gilbert coming in wasn't working. And I'm hopeful. You're right. If it's like a hodgepodge of different people coming in, that's better than what they've been doing. So I am hopeful for that.
At the very least, the vibe was way more loose and different, and more enjoyable to me. So, so I'm keeping my eye on the vibes of Weekend Update for sure going forward. And I think they're doing a decent job of finding capable hosts. For the most part, they've had pretty good. Malcolm McDowell wasn't an especially good host. That was a train wreck.
Yes.
David Carradine, mixed bag.
Made it work. He made it work
for the most part. Ellen Burstyn was really good. Jamie Lee Curtis did a good job, I think. I think they've been doing a good job of finding hosts. And Ray Sharkey, Team Ray Sharkey here, was a good host. I think I would classify him as a good host. And I was going to tell you my host theory I just remembered.
Yes, go ahead.
So I think, I've always thought that the best SNL hosts were people who were really good actors, but not necessarily known for comedic acting. So like Adam Driver is one of my prime examples of this. He's an excellent actor, but you don't think of Adam Driver as a comedic actor. But then when he just doesn't take himself too seriously and he's asked to do more comedic parts, giving into the comedy plus the acting skills, to me, make like an excellent host. And I think Ray, he's not like the level of host like Adam Driver is or anything like that, but I think Ray falls into that. I think Ray's genuinely a very good actor. He was sinking himself into these comedic roles, and I think it worked. So that's just, I think that falls into my theory. It's like when I get excited when I see a more of a quote unquote dramatic actor tabbed as host, because I'm like, okay, they already have the acting chops. If they just submit to the show, they're going to be really good host.
No, I think that theory's correct. And I can honestly say, as someone who's watched this show since I was in grade school, like watching it live, that has flipped as I became an adult. When I was watching it live, but also watching the old episodes, and I would see like a Buck Henry, I'm seeing these people who are like obviously prior. I'm like, they need more funny people being hosts. They got too many celebrities now. And I'm not saying I'm totally off on that to this day, but I do see your point. When you get someone, and usually it is an actor, but sometimes it's even a non-actor who you just know them for being serious.
Yeah.
And you can get them to commit, and actors are the best ones because this is still acting. It's improv, but it's acting. When they can commit, most of the work is already done because they know how to act. Exactly. They just have to commit to that character, and you got to write the right character for them. So I totally agree, and I can honestly say not until probably a few years ago that I feel that way. I always thought, get funny people. And a lot of times that can work. A lot of times that doesn't work because they're not actors necessarily, and they kind of come in with their own agenda, what they want to get across, and they're not willing to let the writers take them to a different place. So I think you are 100% correct on that.
Yeah, Team Ray Sharkey.
Yes, absolutely. You flipped me.
Yeah, yes.
You flipped me.
Yes, I love when that happens. Areas of improvement, Deremy?
Not to be, but just the writing,
yeah.
And the thing is, which is bad because that's how bad it was. I can see it improving. So like it is improving, but that's bad where it still needs a lot of improving. But like I do see them doing things better than what in the first couple first 2 or 3 we were looking at. But like it's still like, man, it's noticeable that you're putting your cast in really tough positions and almost like no-win kind of positions where I'm like, no one could have made that work. Exactly. Not just like, oh, these cast members here couldn't. The original cast couldn't make the material work that they're throwing out now.
Yeah, I agree. My specific writing critique was just attention to detail. Like, because they do come up with, a lot of times they come up with clever concepts, but just they're missing this attention to detail. I think someone in the room needs to be a stickler about certain things. And the prime example tonight was that bar sketch that turned into Charles Rocket as the reporter, and just one little tweak to connect the two settings would have just totally changed that sketch. But it seems like they don't have someone with enough of a voice in the room to just nitpick, because you need a nitpicky that might be annoying to the other writers, but a nitpicky writer like that would have caught something like that and said, hey, we need to make more of a connection.
That nitpicky head writer or something.
Absolutely.
I think that's what I'm seeing. And like I said, we still have episodes to go, but what is the biggest shame of Jean's run that I'm seeing so far, and maybe she was destined because of the pressure, the network, the times, misogyny, no matter what, she was going to be on the chopping block this season. Maybe that was just destined. But I just think she's got there's good ideas. It is different if you have some veteran writers, even if there are some holdovers from the first 5 years, or veteran sketch people who could, like you said, get that detail and kind of reel the writers in.
Yeah.
I think it could make a big difference in how we see Jean's legacy. I think that's my biggest. It's not that she picked a bad cast.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's more of those writers, and you could have had a good head writer in there that could have maybe saved her. I don't know.
Exactly. So there we have it. That was episode 6. Decent episode, I think. It kind of limped to the finish line, but
yeah, I'll say it still was good. I don't think. Remember, we were kind of on a run of episodes 4 and 5 were getting better and better. I don't think this was better. But it was still it was decent. It was. It wasn't a bad episode, in my opinion.
Yeah. So next episode 7, with host Karen Black, musical guest Cheap Trick, and Stanley Clark trio. I don't know who Karen Black. I might know her face, and she probably was in stuff that I know, but I can't immediately connect Karen Black.
I can't either. The musical guests I know, both of them.
Yeah.
But Karen Black is maybe when we're next week you hear us, we'll be like, oh yeah, that was her. Exactly. But right now it's not ringing a bell.
Exactly. And Cheap Trick, man, guilty pleasure for a lot, but you Cheap Trick.
Yep.
A lot of people
I like Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
I like Cheap Trick.
Want you to want me. Yeah, people know that song. So Cheap Trick and Stanley Clark trio.
Yeah.
Will be the musical guest. So looking forward to another season 6 episode, my man.
I know. This has been fun. Every week we've done it, I've had a great time. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying, rewriting history a little bit and getting, that's why I think more people should do this. And anything is, if you have the opportunity to, we know what is out there publicly and perception-wise, but a lot of things don't always match the perception. And this is coming true for me big time in season 6, where I just knew this was the worst season ever, and it was a train wreck, and they were whatever. But it's it's not as much of a train wreck at all that I thought it would be. And there's a lot of bright spots that are pleasantly surprises for me.
Yeah, likewise. So looking forward to next week and chatting with you more, my friend.
All right, man.
Thanks for listening to the Not Ready for Primetime Project. Be sure to subscribe and follow wherever you listen to our podcast. You can also follow us on social media everywhere at NR4PT Project. Thanks for listening. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.